Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
Well, thanks once again for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. I'm joined in studio by somebody who truly gives back to the community in many ways. Elliot Middleton, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am so happy that you were on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what you do and why?
Well, pretty much my name is Elliot Middleton. I'm from a small fishing village called McClellinsville, South Carolina. And what my organization does, which is the name of that is Middleton's Village to Village Foundation. We go around, we collect cars and we fix them up and we donate them to folks in need, particularly in rural unpopulated areas that does not have like Ubers, taxis, ways to get around. We help folks out like that and just try to make sure that if somebody is in need, we try to help them out as best we can.
And on top of that, you also have a restaurant.
Have a barbecue restaurant. We're going to reopen on January the 19th. It's located in Owendale, South Carolina. That's 5105 US Highway 17 in Owendale. And we also started our mobile food truck venture, and that you may see all around the Lowcountry in probably about 5 different counties so far.
I know you're going to say that it feels awesome, but how does it feel whenever you're actually able to donate a car, see that reaction? What is that like?
Well, the experience with that is the first one, it blew you away and you're kind of like, I like that feeling. So now you want to do it again and you want to do it again. So it's it's very addictive, and it's not, just from the excitement, the surprise from them. You always want to be in, like, it's just addictive. You want more cars so you can bless more people.
Yeah. And why food? Why barbecue? Is this something you've always loved?
It's just living out in the rural areas. Like as a young man, you had to be around your great grandparents or your grandparents always cooking. So you always learn, how to cook. You've learned how to cook different things. You harvest different things out of the fields. So it's always, it's just always been a love of mine. And from besides mechanics, it's always been cooking. So second part of my life, I wanted to venture off into food and beverage and, enjoy doing that, and wanted to still remain working on cars. It's a weird combination, but it works.
It's the best of both worlds, you know?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me, what's in the works for 2024?
So right now, like I said, we just got through with our 100th car donation. We are in the need of more vehicles because, we get a lot of vehicles, and most of the vehicles there are not, up to par as far as getting back on the road. So we have to take maybe 7 vehicles, and then we may use those 7 vehicles to part out one to make another one work. So you may get 2 or 3 cars out of those 7 vehicles. So we're always hunting for cars. We're always looking for donations for cars. Just being able to get around and actually seeing the different situations in rural, unpopular, small areas. Food brings everybody together, and good things bring everybody together. So that's trying to do the best of both worlds.
You took the words right out of my mouth, man.
Yes,
I was
ma'am.
going to say the exact same thing. All right, where can people stop by and give it a try again?
5105 US Highway 17 in Owendale, South Carolina. Telephone number that you can call us at, and I'll answer that phone as best I can whenever I can. 843-928-4RIB. That's 4742. And you'll be able to contact us there all throughout the week. We specialize mainly in a lot of catering and carry out on this go around of the restaurant. So it's kind of like a carry out restaurant. It gives you more of a Pizza Hut vibe, to where you can come in, you can order, or you can do a delivery. We're working hopefully with 3 vehicles that we can always be out in the commute area. And also being that the fact that we're in a rural area, I'm offering deliveries to that rural area because, you got kids that live there, they'll never get a chance to experience the pizza man coming to the door. But you'll be able to hopefully get an opportunity to experience the barbecue man coming to the door. So that's one of the outlooks that I want to do for the rural area.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina was sponsored by Habitat for Humanity. All right, I am joined by Jonathan Reckford, who is the CEO of Habitat for Humanity International, and Chris Coleman from Twin Cities Habitat. Thank you both for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Great to be with you.
All right, Jonathan, tell us a little bit about the Carter Workweek project and the communities you impact every year. How is this different from other builds?
Well, this is the 40th year since President and Mrs. Carter first rode a bus up to New York City to start working with Habitat for Humanity. And it's very special today because it is President Carter's 100th birthday. And we thought, what better way to celebrate President Carter's birthday than to keep the work and his legacy going? So we have 1,000 volunteers out today working on 30 homes. And the Carter Work Project's like every other Habitat build, but just on steroids. It is bigger, more exciting, and more impactful.
That is so awesome. Now, Chris, question for you. Why is it important for corporate partners to help out with big projects like this?
Well, we couldn't do our work without our corporate partners. We are so blessed in the Twin Cities to have a very generous community. We have Andersen Window Corporation that has donated every window that's going to be used on this project. The CEO of Andersen and other CEOs from the corporations around town are going to be out actually building on site on Thursday. We can't do our work without the support of a community like that. And when the corporations lead, it says to their employees that this is important. It says to the community that this is important.
And I know you guys couldn't do this without the thousands of volunteers that are out there right now. So Chris, I know you have some volunteers of your own that are helping out with this build. How does it feel to be able to see this happening in real time?
It's overwhelming. We have 1,000 volunteers a day that are coming out to site. They have been some of our regular crew members that have been out building all for years and years. We have people that are coming out for the first time ever. But it's so festive, and everyone has a smile on their face this morning as they walked into site. It's been just absolutely wonderful to see.
Love to see it. If somebody's watching right now and they want to get involved with Habitat for Humanity, how can they learn a little bit more information?
Well, go to habitat.org and you can learn how you can come out. We want you to come out and build, meet the families, be part of the community. Come help us create a world where everyone has a decent place to live.
This portion of Living Local Carolina was sponsored by Habitat for Humanity.
Welcome to Burgess Community Garden. This is a new concept for us that we just started last year. We have this beautiful land, 5 acres, and we happen to have an opportunity to indeed grow and develop and decide what it is we're going to do on this land. One of the things I've done for a long time is I've done outreach. And so not only am I part of the Unity Burgess community, but the outreach community also, is that I was listening to a program by the Boys and Girls Club of the Southern East region, and one of the organizations, I think in Alabama, indicated that they had a food bank and a community garden. So back in 2018, we had inherited this, and then last year I thought, oh, this will be wonderful because we'll be able to bring in the Burgess community, the surrounding community that was historically Black and now is very diverse, but also all the groups of people that we work with. We work with Help for Kids, and we've long worked and supported them, as well as the Boys and Girls Club of Myrtle Beach and Helping Hand and Family Justice. What a good opportunity to indeed start to use the land to indeed provide produce and vegetables to help all the community in terms of that, because as everyone knows, or many of us know, is that hunger is still a reality. What is it we could do to invest in the community? Bringing what it is we produce and having the community help us produce some of that, the local community help us in terms of feeding those that are in need. And that's individuals, that's communities, that's organizations. So as a result of that, Ken, who is my major master only gardener at this point in time, knew what to do in terms of building the garden. So these 2 gardens were produced as demonstration gardens, and they're primarily herbs and spices and some vegetables. And so we've grown from there. I had written a grant, Home Depot indeed responded to it, so we got a $3,200 grant indeed to build vegetable beds, and that's what we did. They came out and they built 12 beds for us so that we could indeed grow the produce that is needed and necessary and wanted by the community that I have indicated earlier.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Gold Shield Wealth. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. Today, we are talking about maintaining your lifestyle during retirement. And that's why I have Amy Ross back on the show today. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. So, Amy, before we start, tell everybody a little bit about what you do.
I am the president of Gold Shield Wealth. We provide retirement roadmaps and advice for retirees. We also do offer Medicare services as well. We try to do as much for our clients collaboratively so that we can work together as a team to give them a successful retirement.
And I can imagine this time in somebody's life when you're about to retire or in the midst of that can be a little bit stressful, a little bit scary because you're used to a paycheck, and then the thought of not having a paycheck anymore is terrifying.
It is very scary. It's going into a completely unknown territory that you've planned your whole adult life for. So it's almost like the biggest vacation that you could ever dream of going on. And you have to try to make sure and hope that what you've done is going to achieve what you want to achieve on that vacation. So heck yeah, it's scary.
So what are some of the things that people need to be doing to make sure that they're able to maintain their lifestyle during retirement?
So they need to sit down with a professional, really lay out where their savings are, how they have it saved. That's also very important. A lot of people forget that part. And lay out what they want their retirement to do for them when they're ready to retire, so that it's in a position or strategically placed to where it's going to work for them in the way that they need it to.
And are there some things that people do that maybe aren't the best decision or a misstep whenever they're preparing for retirement?
Waiting too late. A lot of people think that, retirement's never going to get here, and time goes by so fast. So someone, say 10 years away from retiring, the whole ignore it and it'll be okay mentality can be extremely destructive. So, that's definitely a problem. People just feel like time is just inevitable and it's, unending and it's not gonna ever get here, but then they wake up one day and they're like, wait a second, I've only got a couple years and I really don't have my ducks in a row.
Oh yeah, so what are some of the financial implications of not doing what you're supposed to be doing, essentially?
Well, a major financial implication, and it's the worst one that can possibly be, is the fact that if you don't have a pension and you're only going to rely on your Social Security, that Social Security is only going to cover so much, and it's more than likely not going to cover what your paycheck was bringing in. So you're going to have a major deficit in your income, and a lot of times have to downsize your lifestyle.
So what are some signs that you might be making some right steps towards retirement?
Right steps would be that you're reviewing your retirement accounts at least yearly with someone to make sure that they're doing what you need them to do, and then also to go over what your goals are, because people's goals change depending on what's happening in their lives. So it's always important to really stay on top of it and alter it as needed or stay the course as needed.
Gotcha. And you were saying earlier that it's never too late. But when should people start preparing for retirement?
People should start preparing right away. As soon as they get their first job and they have the ability to open up a retirement savings account, they need to start putting in what they can, at a bare minimum, an employer match. If your employer will give you 3% and you don't put in 3%, you're leaving 3% of free money on the table, which isn't really smart, is it?
No, not at all.
Right.
Not at all. Well, I always appreciate your expertise. For you at home, if you want to make sure that you're on track to maintain your lifestyle in your retirement years, Amy has a wonderful offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or more, she's offering a complimentary roadmap for retirement. This will allow Amy and her team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a plan, analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to get ready for retirement. That number to call again is 843-585-3511. This portion of Living Local Carolina was sponsored by Gold Shield Wealth.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.